think there is a risk about not thinking about the corporate social responsibility aspect. A lot of millennials are thinking about how they want to be associated with their organisation or their company. And it becomes increasingly important to them, as well as what they're paid, how they work, the flexible arrangements, etc. But it's also the association. For example, who at the moment would want to be selling plastic straws? It's great if you are talking about the eco factors that you have associated with your organisation, but it's no good if you go to an event and they are serving drinks with a plastic straw. So it's very key to make sure that you have a very clear agenda on your corporate social responsibility.
Social means a lot in many ways, and I think it's definitely worth the risk, because it's not just about the external social, it's also about the internal social within the business. Are your employees, are your staff, your leadership engaged? Is the culture set so that your deliverables and your vision is actually delivered to what you want? So yes, short term, you could see it as a risk, but I think it's actually not. I think it's more a necessity to be able to shape your business today and for tomorrow. So it's definitely something you should be doing.
Yes, bottom line, I think I have had experience of it influencing businesses' agenda short term. I'll give you a couple of examples. I've worked in businesses where I have been paid for a week to go and do community service. That builds community, that builds a desire to be involved in that business because people see that they are doing good. I have worked in other businesses that take pollutants and turn them into products to prevent waste and affect the planet in a positive way. And with the previous things of social media, education, transparency, I think people are far more tuned into these, not just as employees but as customers today. And there are businesses I've worked with who have top-selling products today globally that are sourced in the way that I've been describing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think gone are the days where the economy is sort of basically stuck in a classic sort of what I would call like a 45-degree angle. I think there's so much competition now, and with the fact of the generational changes, you have more businesses who are coming out and being competitive, and you've got people in general in terms of the generation saying why. They're not questioning the norm, they're actually questioning why aren't you doing it this way. So I think it's actually forcing, if you look at, let's use Tesco for example. 10 years ago would you have seen organic food in their stores? I've got no proof, but I can tell you no. You'd only get organic, and now you'll see Tesco's, all these stores, which is expensive, but they've had to change. So I think, while that's not necessarily socially, it's a good example of the thought process of what the consumers are doing. So, I think we're, much like the first question, I think it's we're in for a ride. But to answer the actual question in the short term, I don't think they'll survive the long term unless they actually proactively look at addressing the short term. Whether it actually achieves anything, what it will do is maintain their current form of customer relationships.
I think it depends how the initial agenda of the business has been set out. If being a CFO as I am of an SME company, there are many stresses on a day-to-day basis, operationally, financially, and they can take priority. I sometimes feel that the world's against you as it is. You then try and bring social elements into that agenda, and board members can look at you and think, what is he talking about? I think the key is to try and get them in as early as possible, embedded into the values and the ethic of the business, and then they become just a way that you do things. And that's what I found, that if you can get things in early, then they just become part of what you do.